So Pete Davidson and Danny Rojas from Ted Lasso are Transformers now? Okay. I can dig it. I see the vision. It was actually pretty decent. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually had a lot of fun with this movie. Ladies and gentlemen, Transformers Rise of the Beast. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for Transformers Rise of the Beast starring Anthony Ramos, Dominique Fishback, Ron Perlman, Peter Dinklage, and was directed by Stephen Caple Jr. And our story follows these creatures, or these Transformer-esque creatures called the Maximals, who are hiding on Earth essentially to hide this artifact that can basically bring Unicron, this world-eating giant transformer, all the power in the world that it needs. And essentially what happens is these humans find it, and they basically need the Maximals and Autobots to team up to destroy the Terracrons and end Unicron's reign once and for all. Well, maybe not once and for all, but just for the basis of this movie, once and for all. And that's the basic synopsis of this plot, so let's go ahead and get into everything I liked and didn't like about the movie. So as far as what I liked about the film, there's actually a decent amount in this film that I really enjoyed. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I was actually kind of really looking forward to this movie, but I was also kind of, nervous at the same time because, well, Michael Bay has completely just tarnished the Transformers name, especially with The Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, and The Last Knight. Those movies are just complete clusterfucks and just absolutely horrendous pieces of film. I don't even want to discuss those movies, but I have to because, we're talking about Transformers here. But those movies kind of, made me nervous at the same time because I know how bad a Transformers movie can be. But due to the fact that Bumblebee exists and the first two Transformers as well, I can give credit where credit is due. I am a big fan of the first Transformers movie for sure. A lot of people don't like Revenge of the Fallen because it's a very messy, kind of just all over the place, kind of wonky comedy, but for me, it's actually really entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. Revenge of the Fallen I actually do find to be pretty entertaining, to say the least, but the rest of those movies are absolute garbage. And then Bumblebee came out, which is not only the most underrated Transformers movie, but it is one of the, it's actually the best Transformers movie to date, even with Rise of the Beast being out now. Bumblebee is still the best. Haley Steinfeld, John Cena killed it. If you haven't seen that movie, go see it see it because it's really good. But nonetheless, look, Transformers The Last Knight, I'm sorry, not Transformers The Last Knight, Transformers Rise of the Beast has proven to me that what Michael Bay was doing with these movies was just absolutely just doing completely the most. He just completely, for me, I feel like watching Bumblebee and watching Transformers Rise of the Beast, it made me think that Michael Bay really, after a certain point, didn't get the concept of what Transformers was and what Transformers is actually supposed to be. This movie here, Bumblebee too, but this movie here, Rise of the Beast, does it correctly. Stephen Caple Jr., you can tell he actually knows what the Transformers are supposed to be. He actually cares about them, and he's actually doing his best to make this a very fun, action-packed, thrill ride adventure film with a lot of heart, some cheesy comedy, but it works for the film. Honestly, there's some really out of this world, like Fast and Furious, unrealistic shit that happens towards the end of this film, but honestly, I'm all for it because I've never seen anything like that in a Transformers movie before. But look, I'm going to start with this. As far as what I liked about the film, Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback as the human characters, they are absolute stars. Anthony Ramos from In the Heights, he's a guy that I have adored for a very long time. I'm a big fan of his. I think that dude is going to be a mega star at some point. I think his career is really going to kick off. In the Heights really flew under the radar too, so I'm really waiting on that one movie of his to really just blow up, and so everybody knows who Anthony Ramos is. Pretty sure if you've seen Hamilton, you know who Anthony Ramos is too. But Dominique Fishback as well, from Judas and the Black Messiah, she absolutely killed her role. I absolutely enjoyed both human characters in this film a lot. I will say this though, as far as like the action sequences where the human characters have to run away from what the Terracons and the Maximals and Autobots are doing when they're fighting, doing their thing, when they have to dodge all the missiles and bullets and blah blah blah, it got really unrealistic at a point because I'm like, there's no way these things are missing y'all. Like y'all are supposed to have been dead. At least with the Michael Bay films, there were a lot of explosions, and Sam Witwicky just being able to jump outlandish heights and just being able to just do the most athletic things in the world to survive, but this right here, no, they should have died a few times, but I'm able to overlook that just because this movie is pure non-stop fun. Like, I'm having a blast in this movie the entire time. First of all, well, I guess not first of all, but the fact that it's set in 1994, didn't know that. I actually enjoyed that setting only because the music choices in this film really backpack, well, not really backpack, but it actually helps the film be a little more entertaining, and it makes, honestly, one of the best intros to one of the characters that happened in this movie. Well, it's kind of like a reintroduction, but the music in this film is amazing. The music choices are great. I enjoyed it a lot. Stephen Caple Jr. really understands what the Transformers are supposed to be. On top of that, the Transformers themselves in this movie are freaking awesome. The Maximals, all of those characters are insane. Ron Perlman as Optimus Primal, perfect casting. That's just perfect. Whoever plays Optimus Prime, you do your thing every time. I absolutely enjoyed it. Pete Davidson, and like I said, I don't know the actor's name himself, but Pete Davidson plays Mirage. Danny Rojas from Ted Lasso plays, I don't know what the Autobot's name is, but those two did a really good job in this movie as well, especially Pete Davidson. Once I found out that Pete Davidson is kind of like, he's like the Bumblebee to Sam's, well, Anthony Ramos and Mirage in this movie are what Shia LaBeouf and Bumblebee were in the old movies. Like, they're the main pair of human and Autobot that you're going to be following throughout the film. And once I found out that Pete Davidson's Mirage is the robot we're following for the main part of the movie, like the main Autobot role, I was thoroughly surprised that he did a great job of actually doing his role very well. I actually really liked the lines he delivered. I liked the way he delivered them. When he needed to be dramatic, it worked. When he needed to be comedic, it definitely worked. Pete Davidson did a really good job as Mirage. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I really, really enjoyed this film. Like, it just goes to show that, truly, Michael Bay, you really missed the mark on those last three movies. Now, Dark of the Moon for me isn't like the epitome of garbage as far as, like, you know, Age of Extinction and Last Night go, but where Dark of the Moon completely loses me is the fact that the last hour of that movie, we are really, or maybe like hour and a half, we're really just running around one city doing a lot of stuff that just makes absolutely no sense to the plot whatsoever, and there's just a lot of unnecessary military introductions in that film. But like I said, I gotta talk those Transformers because I'm talking Transformers, period. But look, Rise of the Beast does everything that Michael Bay in those last three films did. Make sure I'm saying this correctly. Rise of the Beast does everything that those three films did wrong, but, well, this film does everything. Okay, I'll say it like this. Everything that those three movies did wrong, Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, and Last Night, everything that made you cringe and hate Transformers that have to deal with those movies, they're not in this at all. Rise of the Beast does everything correctly as far as I'm concerned with the Transformers lore. Stephen Caple Jr. proves that he understands what the lore is, who these Transformers are supposed to be, and he's not overthinking situations. He's not overcomplicating things, adding unnecessary explosions, adding unnecessary effects, adding unnecessary commentary. I mean, truly, Transformers has really gotten back to a place where I think they can make this thing a franchise and truly build upon what this movie was, because I'm hoping to see a lot more, I'm not going to lie to you. And on top of that, there was an Easter egg at the end of this film that I really, really, really hope they build on. I'm not going to spoil it, of course, but there's an Easter egg at the end of this film that I absolutely dropped my jaw for. I did not expect to see that at all in this film. I'm really excited. I hope they do something with it, and I hope it does not go to waste. One more thing I do have to absolutely praise this movie for is Peter Dinklage's portrayal of Scourge, the main villain in this movie, and the Terracons themselves. All of them are terrifying. All their powers are super cool, but Peter Dinklage as Scourge was a menace in this film. That dude was ridiculous. Peter Dinklage voicing him was terrifying, horrific, all that stuff that you want from a great villain. You got it. And the way that these guys looked in the film as well, especially Scourge. Scourge looked like a very menacing ass villain, man. Like somebody you really just don't want to cross. The way his lines were delivered, I'm telling you, like, they really are stepping it up in the Transformers game, and I'm really glad that Stephen Caple Jr. is a part of this franchise now. This dude directed Creed 2, and honestly, after that, it's a young black brother in Hollywood. I'm hoping this dude gets as many projects as possible. I'm hoping to actually work on one day, but honestly, overall, guys, look, Transformers Rise of the Beast is a ton of fun. It is literally the definition of a summer movie blockbuster. It is something that absolutely took me by surprise as much as I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the human interactions. The kid who plays Anthony Ramos's brother as well, he was tremendous in this film. I mean, truly, like, this movie has a lot of heart, comedy, action, adventure, thrills, has everything you need out of a summer blockbuster, and honestly, everything you need to have a good time in this film, or a good time in the movies, period. And for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I'm going to give Transformers Rise of the Beast a 3.25 out of 5 stars. I guess if I did have to critique a few things about the film, like I said, towards the end we get to some really Fast and Furious-esque levels of unrealistic stuff happening there, but truly it didn't bother me that much just because I've never seen that done in the Transformers movie before in my life, so that was really cool to actually see. That was honestly a risk I feel like it was worth taking, whether or not you think it was a good idea, what happens at the end of this movie or not. I think that was actually a pretty good risk to take. I just, it just got kind of crazy after a while, but other than that, kind of the runtime, it kind of gets a little lengthy after a while, but that's probably because I ate 6 tenders and fries during this damn thing, so I was fighting the itis while trying to watch, but I fought through it, and I enjoyed the hell out of this movie, so please let me know in the comments below, guys, what you thought of Transformers Rise of the Beast. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and so much more, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.